Okay, so
Alive, ready
folks,
to roll.
yes, we are. How are y'all doing this evening, folks? Welcome to tonight's episode of the Running Gun Podcast. I'm Jay Peeps, and this man to the other side of me is
Ace. What
that's
we doing tonight, fellas? Well, just fella for you, but people out there in the comment section's whoever's gonna watch, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook Live. What's up with you guys over there? Let's get this going on a fine Wednesday night in November.
Of course,
2 weeks to Turkey Day.
Yeah, literally. Can't wait. And next week's Florida Classic week, so it's getting here and getting even better. So, of course, as always, got a lot of fun stuff happening tonight. Obviously, you saw the FCS rankings. The FCS coaches poll came out, or not coaches poll, the AFCA FCS top 25 poll came out. College football playoff poll came out. Both are interesting. Historic for one. The other one we'll talk about. And then, of course, the NFL was the NFL this past weekend and even Monday night. And then, obviously, college football has been college football lately, and we're going to get into all of it, obviously, tonight. Also, too, there is a Wednesday night game action going on tonight. So Toledo, who's 8-1, actually, leads Eastern Michigan right now 7-0 with 3:50 left to go in the first quarter. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. But, all the other good stuff as well for tonight is as follows. So without further ado, as always, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Of course, you're going to come back.
Friend to a friend.
Exactly. You're going to watch Saturday, or not Saturday this week, Friday, and then you're going to watch again Wednesday nights. Like, you might as well just subscribe. Because you're going to come back.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And then also, too, make sure you leave a comment. Please leave a comment. We love interaction. This is why we do this.
Yeah. We get other people's perspectives in it, We always get Ashton and drunk in here. So, we just got to get some more people in here. We can have a full-blown party.
Exactly. So without further ado, kick back, relax, get comfy. We're going to roll this intro. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is GP.
This is the Bug.
This is JC.
This is Flash. This is Jimi Hendrix.
And you're listening to
the Run and Gun Podcast.
I just put it out, I think. I put it out.
You just put it up?
Make sure. Yeah, I'm making sure the YouTube link gets sent.
Oh. Well, yeah, go ahead and start us off, Ace. I'm actually updating a little something right here.
All right. Well, while he does whatever the hell he's doing, I don't know. We are going to talk about how FAMU is on their next adventure, pretty much. They're going against an 0-11 Lincoln team. I don't know if I would call this an adventure to the extent of it being exploration. I feel like we already kind of know what's coming, as long as they handle their business and don't fall for a trap. Even that trap is going to be pretty. Like if a kindergartner made that trap. Still, you got to watch out for the trap. Always a trap game coming any given. Well, the phrase is any given Sunday, but sometimes any given Saturday or Friday in this case is always a possibility. You never know. Albeit it's more common in basketball, but it can still happen in football. So you just gotta keep on your toes. This game shouldn't be close. Should be a thorough beatdown.
It shouldn't, honestly. And I mean, and look, I've said it myself, to be honest with you. I think that Okay, so did Grambling lose this week? My bad. I'm sorry. I'm actually updating these stats in here. Did Grambling lose this week? Grambling did lose this weekend. Okay. But yeah, I think honestly, I've said it to a couple people. This is a game I think where you get the starters in for one quarter and then you get them out. There's no reason for a Jeremy Musa or a Marcus Riley to be playing in like midway through the second quarter. You go in, do what you need to do, dominate these guys, and get guys in and get guys out. There's no excuse for you to really be having guys in for an extensive period of time. There's no excuse, no ifs, ands, or buts. You need to go in and dominate this team and get guys in and get guys out.
Like I said, shouldn't be close, shouldn't be competitive. Get your business done in the first quarter, get the guys out, get them ready. You got Florida State Classic next week. That could easily be the same situation going there. So make sure you run what you got to run. Make sure everybody's sharp so they're ready for when one comes the SWAC championship time in, 3 weeks or 2 weeks?
First weekend of December. I think that's 3 weeks. Because how many
3 weeks
up from Turkey Day?
I just said it's 2 weeks Turkey Day. Yeah, two weeks Turkey Day. So yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks until the game.
Yeah.
To the SWAC championship. But yeah, so just get your business done these next 2 weeks. Get it done early. Keep guys healthy. Got to get ready for the main games.
Exactly. And, I think this is again, like I've stated, this is a game where I don't think Moose is going to play a whole lot. I think he's going to play, but I think this is a game where you get Junior Muratovic or your other backup some reps to see what you have looking at the future, because this is that point where now it's like you're still focused on the championship season, but this is a game where I think it's safe to look to 2024. I know I shouldn't say that like you're looking ahead, but sometimes you have to be a forward thinker. And this is one of those games where it's like, you play a Junior Muratovic. You play, if you haven't redshirted him, you play a Levante Bo Somerset. You play a Justin Bostic. You play Kareem Burke and let him shine and see what he can do. You play guys like that, show off your depth. You play Zaire Riley. You play guys like those guys and let them show off their abilities and let people know what you have for 2024 in certain places. Let them, earn their keep.
Yeah.
But, other than like those guys, I think those guys are more than willing and able. Also, this is a game where I think Tevin Griffey should, again, be, that shot caller in the secondary, a game like this. So if all goes to plan, I think, you get guys in, you get guys out, and it'll all work out. But, at this point now, it's like, watch the film on Lincoln. But also, too, it's like essentially, I shouldn't say this, but you have 2 weeks now to really prepare for Bethune-Cookman, which spells bad for Bethune, but it's great for you.
It was going to be bad anyway.
It was. It absolutely was. And also,
I'm brutal.
That also brings up the facts of the matter, too, that – oh, my goodness, where is it? I just had it. Oh, here we go. It also brings up the fact of the matter, too, that, you have this. FAMU's ranked in the top 10 for the first time since 2001. So in that season, they actually opened the 2001 season ranked number 9. And if you want to go further back, if FAMU makes a jump again to number 8 next week, going into the Florida Classic, that will be FAMU's highest ranking since they started out the season in 2000, ranked 8th in the country.
Very possible. Very, very, very possible.
I think the highest ranking FAMU's had since 1998 was number 3 in the country. I think it was like.
No, I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think that's going to happen either.
But I can see them getting somewhere like 7, 8.
Yeah. The highest ranking they've achieved in the regular season in my lifetime has been I think it was number 3, but going into a Florida Classic, I think the highest ranking they've ever had was number 5. Because 98, they walked into the Florida Classic ranked 5th. And they won.
2 40-point blowouts. I can see number 5.
Yeah, honestly, I could. Now, but that being said, also, too, I point to this. How could this year's Celebration Bowl, how historic could this year's Celebration Bowl B. You have a game now, and I don't care what anyone says, this is good for college football. This is good for HBCU football because now you not only have the FCS playoffs that feature the top teams in the country, you have, or the top teams in FCS football, you have the Celebration Bowl, which right now is shaping up to be a top 10 matchup. That's impressive and good for black college football. Very good. It would be even better if we had a team like Tennessee State or one of these other SWAC schools that were good enough to make the playoff, although unfortunately I don't think that's going to happen this year. I was rooting hard for Eddie George and Tennessee State to kind of maybe push for it, but I don't think they will, sitting there at 6-3 and not even in the top 3 in their conference. And then, hopefully you would hope that someone would have run the table, a certain team would have run the table maybe after the Orange Blossom Classic and maybe pushed for it, but I don't think that, well, arrogance says that they don't want to go, and as well, too, I don't think that they don't have the record to get in either. But it would have been nice to have seen a SWAC team maybe push for the FCS playoffs this year. But again, that's everyone's own personal MO. But, kudos to FAMU both and NC Central. NC Central currently ranked 7th. FAMU is currently ranked 9th. This is a very good sign.
That will be a interesting game and a fun one.
It will be. It will be because here's what's going to happen. FAMU is going to not get any type of love the whole buildup. They're going to say, you know what, FAMU's outmatched. All the North Carolina coaches and Sam Washington are going to get together on game prep for this. And NC Central is going to be every favorite. If North Carolina Central loses, how far do they go in the play? All right, well, so NC Central is not going to the playoffs. Unfortunately, they are going to the Celebration Bowl, and I think they can actually clinch it essentially this weekend with a win over Howard. So they're not going. I know a lot of people were saying like if they had the choice, they should go to the FCS playoffs, but they're not like to have. Wait, okay, hold on. Bring it. Wait, I need to go see both.
Okay, so it's saying if NC Central loses to Howard, how far would they go in the playoffs? Is basically the question.
Ooh, okay. I think it depends on where they get sent. I think it depends on that, honestly, because it's like, do they reward them with a home game? If they reward them with a home game, I think they can make it out of the first round, if that were to happen. Now, but you also run the risk of, because they're a North Carolina school, there's a possibility that, wait, hold on. Yes, that's okay. I got you. Okay, let me look at this coach's poll and see who is ahead of them currently. But if they're 7th in the country, they have to be favored to host. So right now, Incarnate Wood, maybe they'd probably get paired off against. At home, probably. I think they fare well in the first round. It's just what worries me if they do is them possibly getting shipped off to maybe like a Montana or
that won't be fun.
Yeah, or having to go to South Dakota to play a South Dakota State or somebody like that. Like that worries me. But the fact of the matter is like if you're top 10 right now, but they would drop too. They would drop significantly if they lost to Howard. So, yeah, that would be a tough blow. That would be a very tough blow. Because if they drop,
if
they lost to Howard and they drop,
I'm thinking about this.
I could see them having to go to like a Chattanooga, maybe on the road.
Chattanooga's still better to play than Montana.
That's true. I'd rather face a 7-3 Chattanooga team. I really would. But you got to think the second round, you could end up having to go to South Dakota. Or even Furman.
You're screwed at that point, but yeah.
There's also Furman out there, who's the number 2 team in the FCS. You have Furman, who would host and is guaranteed to host throughout. So if North Carolina Central, say, if they lose to Howard and then they end up playing like a Chattanooga team and they host that and win that, or if they go to Chattanooga and beat Chattanooga, they would probably have to go to Furman not too shortly thereafter and play the number 2 team in the FCS. And I don't think that they would fare well in that.
Yeah, they need to handle their business.
Yeah.
Easier said than done, but yeah. That gonna get
Now, that is an interesting matchup this weekend, though. It's 3:30 on ESPNU. North Carolina Central travels to our nation's capital to play Howard. So it's one to keep an eye on. I know Edrin James' son actually plays for them. He's actually the team's leading rusher. 398 yards, 1 TD. It'll be a daunting task, but, I think Howard just can't be intimidated when they go in there and play him. They just can't play intimidated. You got to go in there just, guns blazing like Morgan State did and just fight with them for 4 quarters. And don't make the
guns blazing. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah. Now there's also this.
Mm-hmm.
Who locks up the SWAC West? And I ran through this Saturday, but of course, since things have changed, I'll run through it again. So at the top, you have Alcorn as follows. They're 5-1. Personally, I would prefer Howard if the FAMU wins out. Yeah, I think we all would. But I think I can't see North Carolina Central losing the game. Unfortunately, I just don't. And I honestly, that's not me. You're hopeful, but I welcome it. Nothing ever comes easy. So you just prepare the best way you can. Your FAMU's, I'm gonna be honest, newsflash, I don't think FAMU's going to be favored in the Celebration Bowl. It's gonna be a big moment going, but knowing the SWAC's luck, FAMU's not gonna be favored. And that's perfectly fine. I would rather FAMU go into that game underdogs and everyone, including all the people in their conference, doubting them to win that game, versus them going in there, being confident and people saying, if FAMU's going to run through these guys, I'd rather FAMU go in there as underdogs. I really do.
Keep them motivated.
Exactly. And make you hungry. Let you know that you are there for a reason. All right. So let's go ahead and do this. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
As far as teams in the West go, you got Alcorn 5-1. All their key wins, or all their 5 wins that I assume are counting Southern, Alabama State, Grambling, Valley, Pine Bluff. Now, word on the street is if they win out, they come to Tallahassee December 2nd. There are 2 games remaining at Texas Southern. That's a win. And then they have to go to Jackson State. That won't be easy, but,
make them earn it.
Yeah. Look, there are 2 factors on the end of the spectrum with this one. You got JSU fans saying that they're going to go in, that there's no way possible Alcorn's going to walk into the vet and win. And on the other end of the spectrum, you have Alcorn fans saying Fred McNair is going to get his lick back for not being able to beat Dion.
Is it really a lick back if Dion's not even there, though?
Look, hey, you pose that question, let them answer it on their own. You pose.
Now I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real here. I'm taking Jackson State in that game anyway. We're getting to that, but we're getting to that.
If they lose against JSU, this family, but yeah. So next on that list, actually, Southern, who is currently 4-2 with wins over Texas Southern, Pine Bluff, Bethune, and Alabama A&M. Hopefully, I'm getting
softer wins
that count. So the remaining schedule for Southern is as follows: Prairie View, Grambling. Grambling will be played in New Orleans Bayou Classic. If Alcorn really wants to have any chance at just locking up the West, to answer Javon's question, Prairie View needs to lose this game this weekend against Southern. Southern has to beat Prairie View. If Southern beats Prairie View, because Alcorn has the head-to-head over Southern, I do believe that gives Alcorn the nod already, essentially. So if you're for Alcorn coming out of the West, you're rooting hard for Southern this weekend to beat Prairie View. And then Bayou Classic, it doesn't matter. That's going to be for bragging rights. Now, if Prairie View beats Southern this weekend, it gets really interesting. It gets really interesting. And then either way, Bayou Classic doesn't count. Now, the other team on this list that I brought up that I don't think really matters anymore because they're currently 3-3. They lost to Alabama State. Is or not Bethune, Grambling. So Grambling.
Oh, that team also doesn't count.
Yeah, pretty much. So Grambling already, wins over Bethune, Texas Southern, Prairie View. At the time, they mathematically weren't eliminated, but they lost this past weekend to Alabama State. So I can honestly probably say, I think they're mathematically eliminated. I'm not going to waste my time with this one. Next up, you have Prairie View. Wait. Okay.
Honestly, would prefer Prairie View.
Wait, bring it back. Honestly,
we hope for Prairie View beats Southern and Alcorn loses to Jackson State. Possible. Very possible.
Very possible, honestly. You see
Prairie View back.
That has ensued out west. This is very much possible. Now, with Prairie View, it's as follows. Their wins include Pine Bluff, Texas Southern, Alcorn, and Valley. The remaining schedule for Alcorn is as follows, or for Prairie View is as follows. At Southern, you got to go into Baton Rouge and you got to get your lick back. Because remember last year's big giant incident? We even had Coach Lemke on the show, talked about it. You got to get revenge back.
Mm-hmm.
This one matters the most out of any game. Which is the most important game? The next one. If they can go in there and take out Southern and then take out Alabama State, it doesn't matter what Alcorn does the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
If Prairie View wins these two because they have the head-to-head over Alcorn, even with a 4-2 conference record right now, Prairie View comes back to brag.
For another lick and another kicking.
Yeah. So it's the game to watch this weekend in the SWAC is really
East one.
Prairie View and Southern. That's the game to watch. And honestly, if I'm Prairie View, I'm feeling good about my chances. Because Southern...
It'd be funny, though, if they lose and chaos ensues.
Who, if Southern loses?
If Prairie View loses to Southern and we just have chaos.
If Prairie View loses to Southern, at that point, it's like, you know what? It's FAMU and Alcorn.
But then if Alcorn loses...
Dude, the West is so freaking weird. At that point, I'm just like, you know what?
That's what I mean. It's like, why do you think I'm saying quiet? Like, this thing is just like chaos incarnate.
And this coincides with how like wild. See, I'm thinking like you now with the board with the playoff, like this is yes, exactly, yeah. This is the whole Western buildup is insane because somebody has to win that anomaly of a division. Someone has to win it. And right now, like personally,
it's the NFC South.
Yeah, literally. That's really what it is. It really is what it is. Right now, I feel good about Prairie View's chances based on what I saw last week when Southern put on the field against Alcorn. I feel good about Prairie View's chances. They realize now, like, okay, nitty gritty, we have a shot. We have a shot. But at the same time, too, I know Alcorn's going to win this week against Texas Southern. The one that you really got to point towards right now is the one against Jackson State for Alcorn. So the next 2 weeks out west, what happens in Jackson, Mississippi on November 18th, and what happens in Baton Rouge this weekend? Two big occurrences that could determine the SWAC West. Huge.
See, all these things can happen, but I'm gonna be real. I don't even think any of them beating FAMU anyway.
Oh no, they won't. They won't. I don't understand the head-to-head, even though PV is only one game behind all. It's weird. It's weird. So it's like, here's how it works out. It's like, say if Prairie View wins out, they go because of that head-to-head win. But even though they're 4-2, this conference is so weird. Now, if Prairie View wins out and then Alcorn loses to say Jackson State or they get upset by Texas Southern this weekend, then you have a situation where because of that head-to-head, Prairie View still goes. It's getting crazy. It is getting crazy, and it's wild. And then honestly, it's
Okay.
like we're the Southern.
Hold on. All right, so right now, right, Alcorn is 6-3 overall, and Southern is 5-4, and Prairie View is 4-5.
Mm-hmm.
Like overall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be kind of wild if you somehow have a 4-5 team eventually becoming 6-5 and beating a 6-4 team.
Yeah, I know. The whole thing. AJ peeps, you went. Yes, I will be. Well, still wait on tickets to go on sale for this, but I will be there. I already booked my hotel room. Booked my hotel room back.
Arkansas Pine Bluff had 1-8.
Yeah, dude, Grambling should beat them Friday night. Grambling should beat them. Like, if Grambling doesn't beat them Friday night, I don't even know why I even mentioned Grambling on this like potential list. It just does. Honestly, it doesn't. Dude. And then you have some of these games that count as conference games, and then some of these games that don't, which makes it even more confusing and just weird. So I'm in the neighborhood of like because of the way it is like that. I'm just glad that FAMU won the games that they needed to win, and that they are going to win the game that they need to win next week. Because this is just it's weird. It's just weird.
It's wonky.
It is. Because
like Florida A&M FAMU's played a game more than everybody else, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Actually, what I think.
Except for Jackson State, because of the Orange Blossom Classic, but still.
You know what's crazy that I thought about? You know what the West reminds me of?
What?
Florida during the 2000 election.
Let me head out.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, let me head out.
See, no, don't you go nowhere. Don't you? No, it reminds me of the 2000 election because literally it's like you have hanging chads all over the place. You don't see here. Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that? Why do you have to do that?
You just one started it.
I'm just saying, dude, it's just a mess. And Florida's 2000 election was a mess.
Yeah.
The defense rest.
Defense rest.
And with that, we can now swing over to the NFL.
Okay. Now, Drunk needs to show up because he owes CJ Stroud an apology.
I just have one question.
All right. I don't want the Saints to win the NFC South if that's the question. Oh, why Carson Wentz? Whew. Stetson Bennett's a bum.
But what about Matthew Stafford?
He's hurt. Again.
They should have called Matt Ryan. They should have called.
That would be funny if Carson Wentz goes to LA and somehow like Sean McVay fixes him like how he did Baker for a little bit.
Or just revitalizes his whole career.
Yeah, that'd be funny as hell.
That would be crazy.
Because like we'll get the NFC West, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me pull this up.
49ers.
Seahawks 5-3. 49ers 5-3, right? Seahawks just got their behind pounded in by the Ravens, right?
The Seahawks lead that.
Rams are 3-6, and the Cardinals at 1-8. Kyler Murray's coming back, but they're not going to do anything, right? Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So technically, it's like a 3.
Actually, no, that'd be funny as hell if the Cardinals just go win every game the rest of the year and somehow end up 9-8 and make the wild card. That'd be funny too.
So technically, it's a 3-headed monster race in the NFC West, much like the NFC South.
Well, the Rams' defense is terrible, but they still have Cooper Kupp and they still have Puka Nacua, which is a pretty good wide receiver duo. Kyron Williams coming back soon, but the running game is pretty trash, and their defense is non-existent pretty much, right? So they're not like a great team, but they're still 3-6, and like their schedule the rest of the way is like not that crazy.
So they could easily just backdoor their way into the playoffs. As a wild.
Okay, they only have two really challenging games, right? The Browns and the Ravens. They have the Seahawks up week 11 after the bye. That's a divisional game. Anything happens in those, all right? Then you have the Cardinals, another divisional game. Cowher's only going to be 2 games into being off his knee injury, right? Then you got the Browns, Ravens. Those are the question mark games, but then again, the Browns are inconsistent. Commanders. And then you have the Saints, who gave the Bears every opportunity to win the game, and the Bears couldn't capitalize or squat.
I swear it's so funny how you just do not want the Saints to win the NFC South.
Bruh, I know if they win the South, Dennis Allen gets like 2 or 3 more years of leeway. And some reason why the football gods hate me and are giving the Saints the easiest schedule of all time.
It is amazing.
Then you have the Giants and the 49ers.
This is so funny.
Yeah, I can see the Rams going probably. They're probably gonna go like 6-11, but I could see somewhere maybe a miracle happens and they go 9-8.
Possible.
If Carson Wentz just somehow comes out and just balls, that's gonna be so funny though.
Yeah, I know, because then like Philly fans threw him away and just like we're like, he's nothing, he's done.
He was terrible in Washington though, but Washington was so terrible last year. It's kind of like
you can only be but so terrible when everything around you is terrible. So,
but like imagine him and Cooper Kupp and Missoula go crazy. I'm sorry, that just is hilarious. It's an hilarious thought that probably won't happen, but it's still, my boy's in this chat. What's going on, buddy boy? You could be a Giants fan. No, it can't be worse. You could be a Saints fan because at least the Giants are gonna get Drake May. Oh man, I'm sorry to say, but at least y'all getting Drake May. I'm stuck with Derek Carr and Dennis Allen for 2 more years.
Dude, you don't even know that yet. They ain't even won a division yet. Come on,
bro. It's almost a guarantee. I'm gonna give it a Charles Barkley guarantee they're winning the division. They're playing Joshua Dobbs, Taylor Heineke, Jared Goff, Bryce Young. What's the guy's name on the Giants? Tommy DeVito, Danny DeVito's son or whatever. He's not Danny DeVito's son, but I just think it's his son. And then Carson Wentz and Baker Mayfield and Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, they might.
It's like the football gods want them to be stuck in mediocrity. I can't have nothing nice at this point.
Hey, just enjoy the ride, man. Just enjoy the ride.
Crossing our fingers, right? Joshua Dobbs goes crazy this weekend.
He might.
Hey, he might. He got some magic in him.
Exactly. He was doing
Dobbs
good.
Goes crazy, maybe.
He was
Taylor
doing
Heineke, divisional game in Atlanta. I don't know. I feel like the Saints kind of own the Falcons still.
I mean,
but divisional games, you never know what happens.
That game has been played consistently since like the civil rights era.
Exactly. Then you have the Lions. I think they lose to the Lions.
Yeah, they're not beating Detroit.
Then you got Panthers. I don't think the Panthers are going to have an epiphany on how to run a team.
The Panthers are going to get swept by the Saints and the Falcons.
Then you have the Giants with Tommy DeVito. Come on, we know Tommy DeVito ain't beating them.
Just saying.
Then you got Carson Wentz. That game's Thursday Night Football. Oh my God, that's going to be terrible.
Wait, I thought the Saints already played a Thursday night game.
Yeah, they get 2. They have no Sunday night games.
Well, why 2 Thursday night? I thought everybody only got 1 Thursday night game.
Remember, the NFL changed the rule, so Saints get 2 short weeks.
It's crazy.
Then you get the Bucks. That's only one thing Todd Bowles is good at, is beating Dennis Allen.
It's true.
Battle of mid.
It's true. Well, so with that being said, the other thing
We don't need to see no more Carson Wentz. Will
so
Levis started mailman time in Tennessee. Permanent.
I have faith in him. I want to see what he can do.
I think that might be a fun ride.
Might be. And also, too, the other thing, too, was ESPN came out with something. They compared Brett Favre's debut in 92, Rodgers' debut in 2008, and now Jordan Love's debut here in 2023. So here's what they said. Rodgers had thrown for more, but not a lot more yards, 1,982 than Favre, who threw for 1,892, and Jordan Love, who threw for 1,720 to this point right now. He also had the most touchdowns and the fewest interceptions at 13-5 ratio, compared to Jordan Love's 12-8 ratio touchdown interceptions and Favre's 9-7. All were sacked at a similar rate, 18 times for Love, 17 for Rodgers, whose biggest flaw at the time was holding onto the ball too long. That was back in 2008. And then 16 for Brett Favre. So all of them were about the same. None had a winning record through 8 starts, while the Packers' 3-5 mark looks unslightly, especially considering how much the offense has struggled early in games. It wasn't much better with Favre and Rodgers. The Packers were 4-4 at this point under both Favre and Rodgers. Rodgers' Packers would win only 2 more games to finish 6-10 in 08, although the defense blew several games in which the Rodgers had even given them a late lead, while the 92 Packers finished 9-7. Also, too, a statistical comparison shows the biggest difference between Love and his predecessors is completion percentage, which isn't necessarily the same as accuracy. Through 8 starts this season, Jordan Love has completed 59.6% of his passes, the lowest rate among all qualified quarterbacks this season. Favre was 64.8, and through his 8 starts, Rodgers was 63.7. So, it's so yeah, that's pretty much it. So, like, they just basically drew a comparison of all 3. Right now, honestly, I can honestly tell you, I think Aaron Rodgers is still the cream of the crop for all 3.
I wouldn't say Jordan Love is finished because it was basically his rookie year.
He's not.
But I would say this. Their Packers aren't going to take a quarterback in round 1.
They're not.
I find that highly unlikely. Now, they might take a guy 2nd, 3rd round to push Love, but I don't think they take his replacement this year. I think if they were going to I think they give him another year to figure it out. If he doesn't improve next year, then they take one in 25 where it's Shadur and who's the other guy? There's another couple guys in 25. I'm not remembering, but yeah. Well, then again, some other guys who could be in this draft probably might stay and go in 25 because this class is so loaded.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so back to the points. So Packers Love. It ain't been great, but I would say it could be worse.
Could be.
Because, they're 3-5 right now?
Yeah.
Aaron Jones and Christian Watson have both missed time.
Yeah, so you got to consider that. It's like, what if they were both healthy?
So, it's kind of like, how do you judge him? And it's not like he's been great. But then again, he's also had a 17-point comeback in the second half. You've seen him thrown some really nice footballs. You've seen him play good at times and playing rough at other times.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically how a rookie quarterback plays. Like, C.J. Stroud is the outlier right now.
Oh, yeah, no, he's proving right now to be the best of them all.
Like, in terms of what a rookie quarterback should do, Stroud and Herbert have broken the curve on what it should be.
Mm-hmm. I think
in their rookie years.
I think Justin Herbert really just needs a new head coach. And honestly,
pretty much, yeah. Exactly this point right here. Like, he got the 1 year to show, and they're not taking his 5th year. I think they already declined it.
Who?
But anyway, he got next year to show it, and if he doesn't show it, they're just gonna.
Who's this for?
Cut. This for Love.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you got a point. Now the Justin Herbert thing, I think Justin Herbert needs a better head coach.
I don't trust Brandon Staley. Brandon Staley is the Dennis Allen of the AFC.
And this is where I agree with Shannon Sharp. I think Sean Payton should have held out.
Should have waited a year.
Yeah, he should have waited a year, waited for Brandon Staley to get fired, and then went out to Los Angeles and got with Justin Herbert.
Well, now there is also the point that Sean Payton is probably going to get himself a very good quarterback in this draft.
Honestly, he might, but it's like I look at the numbers. Last I checked, Russell Wilson 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Like Russell Wilson
has cost them in when he's turning the ball over. It's not how many times he's turning it over. It's the critical situation games where he loses it because he does a stupid play, he fumbles or throws a pick in under 5 minutes, and it costs him the game.
Okay,
or he takes a bad sack, and that's what costs him.
That makes sense then, because I'll be real. I haven't watched I haven't watched any Broncos games that closely. If I do, I'm just watching for my guy Patrick Surtain. I just watch for the defense, but
yeah, pretty much.
So
Sean Payton is terrible at hiring a defensive coach. He had Evo.
Now hold on.
I can't say his name. The dude, he walked and he went to Carolina's current defensive coordinator. He walked into Dennis Allen.
But hold on. Sean Payton had good defenses in New Orleans, though.
Buddy boy. Them defenses from 2011 to 2017.
I'm just saying. I mean, they look pretty good, I thought.
2014 to 2017 defenses were statistically the worst in the NFL history.
Oh, I'm just saying nobody was complaining back then. Nobody was complaining back then. But nobody complaining. Everybody was happy because they was winning.
Well, they didn't win in 2014 to 17, where they kept going to 7-9.
Okay, yeah, that's true too. That's very true.
Because the offense would score 40 points, but the defense would score 50, let up 50, pretty much.
Yeah, I agree with that because I do remember vividly that game against the Giants where it was like
the Eli Breeze game.
Yeah,
there's that one stat that is always get me where Breeze threw 7 TDs in one game, and Derek Carr through like 7 games had 8 TDs.
Hey, it's
Rob Ryan was a war criminal, but Sean Payton did mess him up sometimes, so it was kind of like, yeah.
That's right, he was on that step, man.
That's why I found it hilarious with the Sean Payton hiring Rex Ryan rumors. I just found those hilarious.
Them was the days, dude. That was back in the day.
Yeah.
Let me stop. That's crazy. Man, that's wild.
All right. Where else we got? Okay, let's talk about this Stroud thing. What happened to the Bucks, man? Y'all was up. And you let a rookie walk down the field on you. I can't talk the Saints lost to Stroud too, but still.
I'll be real with you. Here's where I was when it happened. I was walking out of Publix, and then I was driving back, and as soon as I got in, parked my vehicle, the game cut off. I get upstairs, the Bucks done lost 37-39. But it literally cut off just as I think who was it? Tank Dell caught it at at the 20. It cut off just right there. But honestly, dude, I'll be real with you. I'm like a lot of Bucks fans. That game is not on Baker Mayfield.
No, it wasn't.
Baker Mayfield's fault. That was nobody on the offense's fault. Now, where the Bucks need to get more efficient is running the football, and honestly, look, I get it. We're paying for the sins, not the sins. We're paying for having Tom Brady for so long. I think the last I checked, it was what $72 million to $80 million in dead money that's being you have to just eat it right now. They can't invest in an offensive line. That offensive line is not deep. Ryan Jensen is essentially his career is over. You have no true center. The Bucks need to invest in their offensive line. The Bucks need to also draft or bring in somebody to push Rachaad White's ass and make him a better ball player because I don't think that he's worthy to wear a single-digit number. I think he should have kept number 29. That's my fair assessment of that from an offensive standpoint. Defensively, the Bucks need to go back and invest in their secondary again. The Bucks also, I do think they have their replacement for Levante David. Devin White needs to get his head out of his ass and stop being a selfish individual, and he needs to take his money and payday versus going somewhere else and trying to find payday. Because if he takes a higher payday somewhere else, I guarantee you he won't ever sniff another Super Bowl. Because the same thing happened to Quan Alexander. And ask yourself, how many rings does Quan Alexander have right now? Exactly. Now the Bucks also too, they need to invest in another pass rusher. And now again, I said secondary, but they need to invest in a high quality safety. You had one in Jordan Whitehead, but you let him go because Todd Bowles didn't like him.
And you said there was some other stuff, but we ain't gonna discuss.
Oh yeah, no, it is other stuff too. Well, no, we could discuss it. It doesn't matter. It's the truth.
Bro, you having a moment there like how I do with the Saints. Let's be real.
No moment. It's the truth. NFL players and NFL cheerleaders cannot date each other. He was dating an NFL cheerleader. That was on the Bucks.
Don't stop the NBA.
That was what?
It don't stop the NBA. The NBA has a serious. That is be happening all the time in the NBA.
I mean, honestly, like if we're being honest, like anything can be kept quiet. If we're being honest, like it doesn't take much to do things quietly nowadays. It really doesn't. You just do it right. But they went public with their relationship, and you can't do that. And so I think that was part of the reason why he had to go.
Mm-hmm.
It was either going, but really, realistically, if he wanted to really be here, she could have just quit her job, and he could have stayed. And realistically speaking, I shouldn't say like
I will say this:
they could have.
Jordan Whitehead's got a better chance with the Jets at winning a Super Bowl than the Bucks. And if you say with the Bucks,
that's true too.
Because Rodgers coming back sometime in December. So Zach Wilson has one job. It's not to get them out of a playoffs area.
Which is insane because that's like the fact that he's coming back so soon for someone his age. That's insane.
Hey, Alex, and his how do I say this properly? His connections to a different side of the medical field.
So he's getting the drugs he really needs versus the drugs that he's being prescribed. That's what you're trying to say. He's getting the drugs that he needs versus the drugs he's being prescribed. That you can just say it like that. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah, exactly. It's okay. Don't be afraid to not say it. We don't sugarcoat things here.
I know, but still, it's so funny.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So CJ Stroud, bro's having some crazy rookie season. I'm going back to this.
I'm impressed, honestly.
Drunk called me a madman.
But you proved him wrong. You proved him wrong.
Thank you, CJ. I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah. So he's going crazy. He had the most passing yards and TDs in a game for a rookie ever. So shout out him on that. I believe the Texans are at 500. They have a 500 record right now. If I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna double check that statement, but I believe they do have a 5-5 record. Let's see. Right now they are 4-4, 2 games behind Jacksonville. They have the same record as the Chargers, by the way. Wow, the Raiders are 4-5. I'd keep my eye on that, by the way.
You know what's wild?
In a minute.
You know what's wild about it?
I think the Raiders might make the playoffs over the Chargers, but we'll get into that in a minute.
Just the fact that like the Texans have hit on two quarterbacks
back to back in the first round.
Yeah, and it just didn't fall. It didn't follow through because of Deshaun Watson's own stupidity for the first one. But it's like if Bryce Young stays to continue to develop the way he is, and he gets better and better and better and adapts his game year after year, like that's another home run hit for the Texans front office. He just has to keep his nose clean.
No, Stroud or Young?
Or Stroud. CJ or Bryce Young, dude, honestly, It ain't looking too good right
Bro,
now.
Carolina's a dumpster fire.
I have honestly, it's like some of these guys, I'm like, I would love to see them like in a good system to see what their true potential really could be.
David Tepper is one of the worst owners in sports.
Of course, without question.
I'm gonna just leave that part there. But the fact you went and you took a dude number one who your GM and head coach both wanted a different guy. Yeah.
They did it to sell tickets.
Because Wright publicly said he wanted CJ Stroud. Like he even said it himself before the draft he wanted CJ.
They did this to sell.
I will say this though. CJ wouldn't be as good in Carolina as he is in Houston though.
Oh, he wouldn't at all. But again, they did this to sell tickets. You want the Heisman Trophy winner from the University of Alabama playing quarterback for you? Yes. So we can sell tickets and put butts in seats.
Mm-hmm. Even though if he's a oompa loompa.
Why do you think they went and got Kyle Trask? Oh, Brady's not going to be here. Let's bring in that Florida Gator crowd and put butts in seats as best as we can. One of the top passers in SEC history. Oh, let's bring him in. Even though he's likely not the answer, let's do it. A lot of it sometimes is a money move to sell tickets.
That's why those teams are consistently bad.
Exactly.
They care about the money over the team. They don't realize that if the team's good, people will come anyway.
Exactly. That's my thing. I'm like, dude, just win and people come. Just do what you need to do. Put the ball
in the red zone, figure it out.
Put the ball in the end zone and get 3 and outs and do what you got to do. But I digress.
All right. Time to move on to the moment we have all been waiting for. Once I found my marker.
I'm waiting for you to get your marker out. But while he does that, all right, guys. So basically, no movement this week, pretty much in the top 6, top 4 states.
That top 6 is still wrong, in my opinion.
So you had Ohio State at number 1 still, Georgia number 2,
Shouldn't be
3, Florida State at number 4. You're basically counting down to Thanksgiving weekend, a huge 1 versus 3 matchup with Ohio State and Michigan meeting in Ann Arbor. Georgia's number 2. Georgia fans don't care right now. Honestly, I'll be real with you.
They know there'll be 1 at the end of it.
Exactly. Possibly. And Georgia fans have honestly said, you know what? It doesn't matter. Let Ohio State be the hunted. And then you also have Michigan right there where big game against Penn State in the big house. Don't blow it.
I will say this. It'll be if Michigan does beat Ohio State, right?
Mm-hmm.
The committee cannot put a team with the allegations that Michigan has going on right now currently at number 1.
No. Michigan, I think, will go to number 2. Georgia goes to number 1. And I think what happens is this will happen. Georgia will go to number 1. Michigan will go to number 2. Florida State will move up to number 3. That'll
and Ohio State 4.
No, not even.
They won't kick Ohio State out.
I would.
For some reason, they won't.
I would. Especially if Ohio State's not going to the Big Ten championship. Because then
Ohio State, I don't know. Like, they aren't going to beat Michigan. I kind of already know. We already know this. Like, everybody knows Cal McCord is trash.
I'm telling you.
Game on the line. I don't think he's going to get it done.
I'm telling you, dude.
But then when you look at who's behind them, right? It's like Washington. As long as Washington doesn't screw it up, they probably get number 4.
Exactly.
But if Washington goes in as a 1-loss team, I think they give it to Ohio State.
Nah, because Washington has that conference championship game. Because here's what's going to happen. If and when Michigan beats Ohio State's going to fall back.
Oh, actually, Ohio State might fall behind Oregon.
Exactly. And you're going to have Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Washington. And what they're going to do is they're going to put Georgia and Washington in the Sugar Bowl at late at night. And then on the other side, they're going to put Florida State and Michigan in the Rose Bowl. You can get two. That would be a good matchup. Those are some good matchups.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, Rose Bowl wise, because a lot of people are going to want to see Michigan finally fall, I think Florida State will avenge. In that case, I think Florida State will avenge their 2014, 2015 Rose Bowl embarrassment to Oregon. And on the other side, I'm gonna break Flash's heart when I say this. I think Georgia puts a little bit of Southern hospitality on Washington because you cannot. It's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
You ain't gonna walk into the heart of the second. Well, not the second, but you ain't gonna walk into the heart of the South and take out an SEC team. It happened before with Alabama and Ohio State, or Alabama and Ohio State, but I don't see that happening. When Georgia has to play up, Georgia will play up. Not to mention, you don't know when.
I want to say this. Oh, Washington can't tackle.
Oh, that's easy. That's Kirby's bread and butter. Just run the ball. Just run the ball.
Exactly.
Dude, how did this Toledo Eastern Michigan game get to be 35-0 so fast? Have we really? Well, we've been on here for 56 minutes, so I mean, I guess so. But it's only the second quarter. Like, how bad is Eastern Michigan? Like, huh?
Anyways, time for the board. All right.
Yeah,
You want to do our rankings or the college football rankings? I kind of feel like we know what it should be, except the committee's not doing what it should be.
Honestly, if it were up to me right now, I mean, I'd just flip Georgia and Ohio State.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all I would do. Everything else is fine.
Do we have to do the board tonight?
Not really. Everything else stays the
Nothing
same.
new. I think we'll save the board for once Michigan beats Ohio State.
Well, I will say
That's
this:
when the fun begins.
the Commander-in-Chief's trophy is also still up for grabs for Army and Navy.
Well, we can talk about that, but I'm not getting the board out for that.
Yeah.
Sorry, board. No use for you tonight.
Also, too, Florida State and Miami get together once again for their annual rivalry in Tallahassee this weekend. Yeah, I know it's not that game's not what it used to be. Unfortunately, it's not. If Miami would just come up and stop blowing games and forgetting how to take knees and stuff, that game could be. I was honestly hopeful that game would have been a matchup of two undefeateds. Need Oregon.
All right, need Oregon to lose and beat Washington in the title game so we could jump into top 4. You're a Texas fan. That's right.
Honestly, dude, Alabama's still out there too, as far but they do own the head-to-head. So
yeah. Who's Texas' last couple of games? I don't gotta check that. So Texas is 8-1 right now, right?
Honestly, if I'm Texas,
if this happens, right? If Washington loses in the Pac-12 championship, that is going to be a lot of 8-1 teams.
Honestly, dude, if I'm Texas, my worry is Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
That's who you probably don't.
Oklahoma State might give them trouble.
Exactly.
But all right, so what will happen is, right? If Ohio State loses, right, to Michigan, and Washington loses in the Pac-12 championship, right? So we have Ohio State 8-1, Washington 8-1. If Oregon also loses, that means they're 2, so that means they're out. Texas 8-1, Alabama 8-1, Ole Miss 8-1, Penn State 8-2 probably. Penn State will be 8-2, and Louisville is 8-1 right now. That a whole lot of teams at 8-1.
I'm telling you now, I think Florida State
runs 9-1, but still.
I think Florida State's going to run the table. I think Georgia's going to run the table. And whoever wins the Ohio State-Michigan game is in. So that's 3 spots right there.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to the last spot. But really, the SEC championship is going to be pretty tough too. Because you have Alabama and Georgia. If Alabama beats Georgia,
the only chance Alabama has to beat Georgia is if Jalen Milroe just somehow Georgia doesn't put a spy on him.
Honestly, dude, honest, after what I saw last week, Alabama coming into their own right now. Look, where it at? Where's it at? Where it go?
Yeah, the conference title will set you apart, but that's
Yeah.
if you actually win the
Bring
conference.
it back. Bring it back. Bring it back. You can bring it back.
Which one? This one?
Yeah, the conference title would set us apart from those other teams. Yeah, it would. Now here's the thing, though. The playoff committee loves Alabama. They love Alabama. If Alabama beats Georgia, do you trust them to put Texas in over Alabama?
All right, let's put it this way: who do you have? What do you put more stock in? An SEC championship, who ESPN loves, or the Big 12 championship?
SEC championship. Easily. I'm just going, and that's literally what the thought process is going to be.
This is the time. Well, we'll get into it in 2 weeks, but that is where the fun of the board comes in, because we get to talk about like scenario A, B, C, and D, and we had one of them right, didn't we? I believe we did have a scenario B is the one that won it. That's why we had it up on the board for a couple of weeks.
Last year?
Yeah, last year, remember we got one of the scenarios right?
Oh, yeah, we did. Yeah.
That was funny.
Remember Tennessee blew it Florida Classic weekend.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing, too. This is why I pose this. If he's coming along at the perfect time, just being himself, not trying too hard, watch out. Watch out.
Bama just F around a lot.
That's them in Texas. I'll be real, Texas too. Them the two ones we're not talking about.
Okay, the bro had Jalen Milroe, man. He had 15, 23, 219, right? That's not that's good. The 0 interceptions part is a key part there.
Look at what he's done too.
Look
at what he's done.
I'm getting to that.
Yeah,
I am not done. Chill.
Okay.
Chill. All right. Now, that's all well and good. Rode in and messed it up on the air. He killed you on the ground. 20 carries, $1.55, and 4 tuds. No fumbles. So he kept it clean, no turnovers. Kept the ball moving in the air when he needed to, only having 8 incompletions. And he killed you on the ground.
Yeah, he
Not
did.
saying Jermaine Burton needs more than 5 targets a game. Only had 3 catches for 29 yards. But if Alabama keeps that recipe going, they will be fine. Now, I will say this, though. They did put a dirty hit on Jaden Daniels.
Of course, dude. Of course. Even Florida State did. SEC all day just hoping the head-to-head holds a lot of weight.
I feel like Texas is a lock for the 5th spot unless Washington blows it. But I feel like even then, if Alabama does beat Georgia, then they get they'll be stuck in the 5th spot. But if Alabama doesn't beat Georgia, they go to 4, which would probably be scenario C.
Alabama loses Georgia. Well, just eliminates Alabama and puts Alabama in a New Year's Six bowl. Yeah. It would really, it sends Alabama to what, either the Cotton Bowl or the Orange Bowl. So, or what's the other one? Not the Fiesta, but yeah, definitely Cotton or Orange. It sends Alabama to one of those, or maybe even the Peach Bowl. So
that'll be interesting to see.
It will be. This is shaping up to be quite a finish, especially this year.
Can't wait to do the scenarios.
Can't wait either. You know,
that'll be when the fun starts.
It would be.
UCS looks to spoil Oklahoma State first ever trips to the bounce house. That's not happening.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I will be there for it though. Looking forward to it.
I was kind of hoping we would get a USF UCF bowl game, but I feel like that's not happening.
Yeah, because look, I'm telling you now.
USF has 2 chances to win 2 games. They got Temple, UTSA, and Charlotte.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's not happening.
They're favored against Temple, Texas, San Antonio. I don't think they're gonna win that.
Their defense can't stop a fly right now. Like they had like 3 good games of defense, and then all of a sudden their defense forgot how to play.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know if they'll beat Charlotte. They might beat Charlotte, but the two Temple and Texas San Antonio, I don't think so.
You want to hear a shocker?
At least they get Temple at home, so they might beat them.
The irony of USF is this, right? Guess which team scored the least amount of points against them this season?
Which team scored the least amount of points against them this season?
Mm-hmm.
Don't
look at the schedule.
Oh, well.
We're not cheating.
Oh, I mean, I was going to say FAMU, but I guess Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow, that's true.
17 points against Alabama was the least amount of points by the defense. Every game other than that has been 41 for Western Kentucky, 24 for FAMU, 29 for Rice, 30 for Navy, 56 for UAB, 56 for FAU, 21 for UConn, and 59 for Memphis.
So basically what you're saying is Temple, Texas San Antonio, and Charlotte are all going to score 20 or more. Okay, yeah, that's accurate. I'll put money on that. So honestly, I'll be real with you. I think USF might go 5-7, maybe. And then
you better than 1 in what was it? What they go last year, like 1-10 or whatever.
Yeah,
or 1-12.
You have UCF, who I think they're going to lose this weekend to Oklahoma State. But UCF I think has to beat Texas Tech, and they have to beat Houston, and I think they can. 6-6 is attainable.
Michigan on upset alert. Yeah, no. Penn State, really? You think Penn State's going to beat Michigan?
It's possible. I didn't say they're going to, but it's possible. It's possible. I did not say it's going to happen. I said it's possible. Look, I don't know. Well, you know Michigan probably done stole Penn State's and James Franklin's hand signals and stuff already by now, so probably definitely ain't gonna happen now.
Well, I'm not saying nothing on that.
Look, I'm just gonna say it. You know
yeah. If I was Penn State, I would not use your normal hand signals. That's all I could say.
Yeah.
Hard to change your hand signals, but like switch it up maybe. Like say like what's your usual hand signal, just change what it is, like the meaning of it.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
And have them messed up. That'd be funny. That'd be a great science experiment. Switch up your hand signals and see what happens for Michigan.
Fair. Well, all right, Ace, we've reached.
That would really catch him in the act.
I'm gonna ask the court. Let me get your FAMU versus Lincoln score prediction.
Give me my numbers.
Honestly, hell, if I could even find them on Lincoln, I don't even know what Lincoln's even got.
All right, never mind. I'm gonna just say it.
Wait. Hold on. Let's see. Maybe it might be here. Can I even find it? I can find it on FAMU, but I cannot find it on Lincoln. Okay.
All right. Sure. I'm gonna get 45-3.
45-3.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
I'll be nice. I didn't give him a shutout. I said I get 3 points in garbage time.
Okay, that's fair. Well, all right, folks. I can accept Ace's 45-3. He might be right, honestly. Where is it at? I need to find it. Okay. Yeah, there it is. So the Family Lincoln breakdown has been moved to Friday. So Friday, not sure what time of the day though. We will be breaking down FAMU and Lincoln. Why? Because Saturday we will be at Oklahoma State at UCF. So the intentions are to be back here after that game and be back in time for the ending of FAMU in Lincoln, but I can't make any promises that that'll happen. Well, then again, it might happen. Who knows? Because FAMU starts at 6.
He might be like 6 beers in and be like out of it cold, so you never know.
No, honestly, I'm not. I'm gonna have to drive back here. So.
Oh, okay, then he'll be sober.
Yeah, I have to drive, so I can't. I'm not doing that. Homecoming, I didn't have to drive.
All is revealed.
Dude, I hadn't been carried out of Bragg since I was a baby. And it was the first time for everything.
Second time.
Yeah, it was the second time for everything. So hey, but yeah, so just be on the lookout for it and stuff, folks. As you know. So that's going to do it for us this evening, and we hope you've enjoyed this as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you.
Shout out Javon and Asher for the comments, and Ashton, he dropped one in there. Shout out y'all for the comments. Make sure if you're watching it back later on in the not too long in the distant future, make sure you drop your comments on whatever you want us to talk about for the next episode.
Of course.
If we want to touch on anything there. So be a friend, tell a friend, like, share, subscribe. We had fun tonight. It was more relaxing. We didn't have too much to discuss. JP just had a little therapy session on the Bucks.
I told the truth. Top Bulls may not make it to the end of the season, but that's another story.
I wish that was my head coach.
They go
making it to the end of the season.
Congratulations, Ace! You're gonna win the NFC South.
No.
So you just won $1 million.
Yay! No.
You'll be fine. It's like, nah, I ain't gonna say that. That's messed up. I can tell you that off air. But folks, as always, y'all stay safe. Y'all stay blessed. We'll see you next week. Well, I'll see you Friday, but we'll see you next week.